everybody doing? One more day till the new administration comes in. What is it, January 19th? Oh my gosh. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff today. One of the things I'm going to talk about, though, is what are you grateful for? What are we grateful for? Let's start changing the lens. Let's really start changing the lens. Because as bad as things have been, they could have been a lot worse. Everybody was terrified about what was going to happen leading up until tomorrow. And even the bad stuff that happened, it could have been way worse. So let's dial back the fear and start paying attention to the love, okay? Love, doctor. Oh, what somebody put up yesterday, what is love? A lot of people are asking what love is. A lot of people have no idea what love is. And we're going to talk about love today. We're going to talk about stepping over the fear. And you can't replace what? Tanya Marie! You can't replace a bad habit without putting it in a good habit. Because otherwise, if you take away a bad habit, you got nothing. Because we're repetitive people. We're repetitive creatures. We're habitual. We do habits over and over again. So you got to replace it with something. Which is why I created SueTV. Joanne, what's up? I'm trying to find the opening song. Where the hell is it? What the hell is it? What the world needs now. So, I've been doing lots of personal growth. I've been doing lots of what's happening. I've been doing lots of professional growth. I'm fucking flying, baby. I am flying like a tornado girl. You ever see that video? That guy, it's like, well, it's like, I think it's a guy. You have to be careful with the pronouns. They. Let's call them they. He's like, it was like a tornado girl. That's what I'm like. I'm like a tornado girl over here. I'm growing personally. I'm growing professionally. And all I'm doing is taking no shit and doing no harm. That's it, yo. And I'm moving forward. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. Everybody put up all the things. Yes, it's the only thing that can get rid of hate. Hate cannot get rid of hate. Only love can get rid of hate. Yeah. The thing that I always remember about Martin Luther King that is very practical, that helps me every single day of my life, is he said, can't run, walk. Can't walk, crawl. But no matter what, just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. It's really hard to do because you want to get hooked. 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 Somebody pulls at you. You want to get in a fight. You want to get on the internet. You want to get hooked. You want to use it as a way to keep yourself back. That's what we all do. We blame other people, but it's our own. We have full autonomy. We are responsible for our own fucking idiotness. And you all know that. And I've been talking about that on the show for a long time. We got Women Crush Wednesday tomorrow night, our third episode. I'm starting to get it. Hopefully, I would love to do it in studio because it's hard on the internet because the guest internet keeps cutting out. I don't know if it's me. I got to find out. And it's hard to talk. I mean, Paula Bell was hilarious, but it was a little out of control. So I'm focusing it more. I'm going to ask questions prior to, and it's going to be very woman focused. When Woman Crush Wednesdays is going to be very woman focused. And then guess what I'm going to do? Once I get that established, I'm going to do Man Crush Mondays. So I'm going to show the difference, but for now, we're going to give the women the legs up. Excuse the pun. Legs up. Me too. All right, stop. See how I have to tell myself to stop? What the world needs now.
What the world needs now is SueTV. Laughter is the best medicine while in
Quarantine.
What the world
Needs now.
is
SueTV, baby. SueTV. All right, welcome to the show. We're going to have a lot to talk about today. So, I had a journalist come to me yesterday, and guess what he said? They're finally starting to get it. Guess what he said? He said, hold up, Miss Costello, hold up. He said, you emailed Les Moonves and you got a meeting with him? And I said, yes. He said, not very many people can do that. Tell me more. And guess what I did? Tappy. I told him the whole story. There's no confusion whatsoever. Mark my words, what's going to happen right now, what happened, and what I knew all along. So I always talk about on a macro level and on a micro level. On a micro level, when you're in a personal relationship, a lot of times you know what's going on. The person who doesn't want you to know what's going on will do tons and tons of stuff to confuse you, to bother you, to knock you off your center, to do all sorts of stuff so that you can't pay attention. I said this yesterday. I tweeted it about suing people. So I'm going to talk a little slower today because I know I talk about a lot of stuff. So the reason why I never sued CBS yet is because they use lawsuits to do exactly that, to get you confused. And the way the system is set up is that the attorneys are usually in bed with the system, not with the person they're defending. I can say that for women who have to sign NDAs, and I can say that for people that are accused of crimes that didn't do them when they're forced to do a plea bargain. So the NDAs and the plea bargains are very similar in the sense that the person did nothing, they are the victims, and they have to sign away their life and get punished because of the perpetrator. So that's on the macro level. That's on the macro level. And so yesterday I tweeted that lawsuits are a way that they hide the corruption. So if somebody's doing something corrupt, they can just file a lawsuit, and then next thing you know, it gets all blurred. Nobody can pay any, you can't tell. It gets lost in the courts. It's like a game of telephone. If you want to break it down simply, it's like a game of telephone. Remember what happened when you played a game of telephone? You said one thing, and then it went to a whole bunch of people, and it wasn't the same thing at the end. That's what's happening. So this whole gaslighting thing that's going on with politics and with the media and everything, and how we can't pay attention. So I thought it was Trump. I thought it was Trump. Everybody says it was Trump. It was Trump. It's Trump. It's Trump. It's Trump. Right now, Biden's going to get inaugurated tomorrow. Supposedly it was Trump. Today, I say yesterday that they hide the corruption under the lawsuits, right? I said that. I tweeted it yesterday. Today, the New York Post just printed an article that Cuomo says he's going to sue the Biden administration if he doesn't give them whatever, the $15 billion or something that he needs to dig New York City up. I said it yesterday. It happened today. Are you guys catching on? I say it and then it happens. I say it and then it happens. I say it and then it happens. That's been going on for years. Finally, I think the world is catching up because everybody slowed down, and because I'm not letting anybody fucking push me around again. Nobody, not one person, put the word on the street. Look what I got. I got my sweatshirt on, put the word on the street, straight out of Dorchester, motherfuckers. Nobody puts baby in a corner anymore. So that's never going to happen. I'm never going to get confused, and I'm going to keep speaking the truth, speaking my prophecy here on SueTV. And you all know, you're going to see it through my actions. You see it. I got locked down, and what did I do? I started my own TV network. And by me doing this, you guys are going to see what I did. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have all this money to start a network. I have no idea, but guess what? I'm still doing it. So what did Martin Luther King said? If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. And that's what I did during this whole pandemic. I moved. I've had stress. I've had, you name it. I've had all of it. And I just kept going, no matter what. So by my actions, I'm like putting myself through the fire. So that's the first point. The suing hides the corruption. So the system is set up that way. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go to the court of public opinion. I'm holding off. And I was reading a book last night where they said something where somebody held their ground and it caved. It eroded from the rot inside. And I'm like, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to hold my ground. I'm going to keep going forward, trusting myself. I'm never giving up. And I'm going to trust that all the people that fucked me over are so rotten inside that they're going to cave in from their own weight. And I've been saying this for a long time because it takes two to tango. And the only way that they were getting away with it is because I was participating in it. Which brings me to this man-women thing. So the Me Too movement is reflective of what's going on in the country. The sacrificial lamb is what's going on in the country. They're all trying to say it was all Donald Trump. Even his people are throwing him under the bus. Let me tell you right now, mark my fucking words, 74 million people voted for Donald Trump. You dismiss them, they're going to get more angry. They're going to build more. That man might even become more powerful not being the president. Mark my fucking words. I've been saying it. I said it on Adi Quitter's podcast. Now I'm being clearer than I've ever been. Donald Trump will become more powerful the more you ignore these people. Fucking Jack from Twitter, he banned everybody from Twitter. He just banned everybody. And I'm like, you can't, this is what caused the problem. The lack of respect. Why do people go to jail? Why do people murder people? Because they feel disrespected. On a micro level, on a personal level, why do people fight? Why do divorces happen? Because people feel disrespected. On a macro level, they're disrespecting. I don't care if you think it's the worst thought, if you think those people are the worst people in the whole entire world. 74 million people voted for that man. So the more you discard them, the angrier it makes people. And if they can, what's the word I'm looking for? When you, not unionize, but when you, what's the word I'm looking for? When you can get together and fight for a reason, that gives you something. And there's nothing on the other side to give you to come together to fight. There's not that kind of fight inside. So just dismissing people and it's the same thing that's going on with CBS. They kept denying the problem that they did to me. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because everybody knows if you deny a problem, what happens? It grows, right? So that's what's going on in politics. Now, Me Too. So Conor McGregor Conor McGregor just got accused of assault. Jared Flash Gordon, who's a buddy of mine, he just wrote, do you think this is true? He's like, it's the week of a fight. He's like, I don't know if I buy it. What do you guys think? So Jared had the balls to say that, which I respect. He's a fucking UFC fighter. He is also the person that told me, he asked me how I did it mentally with CBS. Jared Flash Gordon, who is a UFC fighter, asked me, Sue Costello, how did you do it mentally? That man respects my fucking mental strength more than anything. I was watching Brett Favre last night. You know what he said? Mental strength is way more powerful than physical strength. So, that being said, so Conor McGregor, and then the CEO of the Mets, 62 texts, 62 dick pics, 62 dick pics he sent to a foreign correspondent. The woman quit her career because of it. 62 fucking dick pics. Now, come on. What we're going to have to do. So, okay, this just reminded me of something else. So, all the drama, all the suing, all the lawsuits, all the gaslighting, all the bullshit keeps us from the hard numbers, okay? So you got Conor McGregor and you got the head of the Mets, all right? The head of the Mets, supposedly it's allegedly. If he did that, what the fuck is wrong with people, okay? And he ruined the woman's career. The woman quit. No doubt about it. I have no problem with that. Conor McGregor, if it is true, then same as the guy from the Mets. If it's not true, then we have what we need to talk about, where we need to separate the two and start talking about what's really going on here. We need to talk about the men that are really attacking the women, and then the women that are filing false claims. Why can't we have a conversation about that? They all attack you. Everybody screams at you. You can't say anything. And I'm like, you know what? I was on stage the night that Louis C.K. article dropped, and a woman, it wasn't a man, a woman in the audience fucking attacked me like you've never seen anybody attack somebody, and then the woman who booked the club did not protect me. Usually the way that when you're on stage and somebody attacks you like that, the booker or the owner will come over and protect you. They'll come over and protect you. She did not protect me. So women hurt me the night the Louis C.K. article came out. Because I was on stage talking about Kara and the other woman who wrote the article, they called me and they were like, goddamn fucking rabid animals. And they were like, do you know anything about Louis? Has he ever done anything to you? And I was like, oh my God, this is gross. I'm like, what are they doing? They're calling me. They're like looking for dirt. They're looking for dirt. And I'm like, and that's what reminds me of what happened with the CBS thing, okay? So here, we have to separate the two. The attacking of women is not right. Women getting paid is not paid less than men is not fucking right. Attacking women so that they can't get paid, not right. Using the Me Too movement as a way to fucking make money, whether you're falsely accusing somebody or a company using it to fucking force a merger, and the press is helping you, no good. So we need to be able to have the conversation about what's going on, the differences between the actual attack, because what happens is when you have the false claims, when a company like CBS uses the Me Too movement to fucking cover a merger, it negates the women's power. It negates the stance of the women. It negates the women who have really been attacked and who have really hurt their career. And I bet you $1 million, I don't think there's a guy out there that would just straight up say, yeah, we should fucking hurt women like that. We should just hurt women like that. They wouldn't say it out loud, even if they thought it. But there are men. So what happens is, because it's so bad that women get hurt, the pain is so greater that they'd rather focus on the women that make false claims, which is what Paula Bell had a point about the other night. She was very upset about what happens with the women, with the comics on the road, and she went that angle, which is, I respect that too. That's why I'm doing these interview shows, because I want to show both sides of the coin. So the guy, the head of the Mets, sent 62 dick pics, okay, to a woman. She lost her career. Conor McGregor, Jared Flash Gordon, just said maybe he's not sure. He asked the question. I like asking the question. I think we need to get to the hard numbers. We need to get to the bottom of it. We need to have an honest conversation instead of all this drama and throwing everybody under the bus. So when they called me from the New York Times for Louis, it was so disgusting to me. I was like, I'm not participating in this. I'm not participating in, and I just knew the level of how rabid they were being. And not only that, I said to them, hold up. I was like, Louis hasn't ever let me close to him. He's literally said to me that I was too pretty to be on his shows. That's sexism right away, right? That's already sexism. So if anybody had a fucking axe to grind, it would be me, right? So I say to her, I'm not taking Louis down. I'm not giving him more press either. Let's giving the guys more press again, right? Even with less. Even if they did do what I'm pretty sure they did do to Les, allegedly. Les was still a fucking dirtbag guy. So we need to be able to have this conversation about the men that were dirtbags, that were fucking bullies, and took over all the business and took the money, but didn't do completely everything that everybody's saying they're doing. And then we can get to the bottom of asking, of bringing out, like, stop doing what you're doing. Like, we need to have a full conversation so we can get it all onto the table so that we can really get to the hard numbers. Because the way that these women came to me from New York Times was so disgusting. And then the way the girl responded in the audience, she was like screaming. I was joking about the women because I didn't even know how. I was terrified to go on stage the night the Louis article came out. The tension was so great. I'm a female comic. I've been in the business for a long time, and the way that they called me, they just wanted anything. They were just looking for anything. That's what the press does, right? Isn't that what we're saying the press does? It's news. It's like it wasn't based on investigative journalism. They were just calling me, random people, to try to find out if we would tell something that he did to us. It's disgusting. And I said to them, no, I'm not participating in this. I said, I've had a very successful career, but it's very hard for people to see it because I'm a woman. Because the men hijacked the narrative. Mark Maron hijacked my WTF. The men hijacked the narrative, and they abuse you behind the scenes, so it's very hard to get to the level that Louis got to because even just visibly, even if I have all the credits, even the club owners wouldn't let me fucking headline. They say the guy has more credits than you. I'm like, that guy has 200 Twitter followers and no credits. And they're like, oh, we base it on credit. I'm like, listen, I said to the girls at the New York Times, I said, I will participate in this article if you do an equal article. If you talk about any woman, it didn't even have to be me. I'm like, show the discrepancy. Do something. Don't just take a man down. Like, boost up the women. These were women. I was like, do a what do you call it? Not a bias, equal article. Like, show, here's Louis, he gets away with this, blah, 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 and here's what happens with women. Here's other women who don't get that. They weren't doing that. That's not the kind of article we're writing. And I was like, okay. All the pedophilia will be exposed. All the Hollywood elites. PJ, a lot of people agree that. See? PJ said all the pedophilia will be exposed. Also, all the Hollywood elites will go down. I read a lot about people saying, you're a fucking idiot. These people are stupid. They believe this. You know what? How many? 74 million people? You think I have that kind of an ego? I take heed to everything that everybody says, because somewhere in the middle there's the truth. Somewhere in the middle there is the truth. That's how you negotiate. That's how you mediate. And anybody who has any sense of brains or any sense of you know how you move forward? You don't judge anything. You don't say anything you don't have cognitive dissonance with anything. You listen to everything. Any big CEO, they listen to everybody. They have meetings with everybody. They take counsel from everybody. And you know what they do? They hire people to fulfill their weaknesses. They know their own weaknesses, and they hire somebody who has the strengths that they don't embody. That's a great CEO. That's somebody who cares. A great CEO will have empathy. So when PJ says all the pedophilia will be exposed and all the Hollywood elites will go down, I'm not going to say he's a fucking idiot, because I was in the middle of CBS and they fucking robbed me while they were going down for it. So you know what? I'm not going to be stupid and go, that's a lie, you're an idiot, because I can't handle it. No, I'm going to take it all. I'm going to be like, all right, let's see. I bet you somewhere in the middle of all this is the truth. Pedophilia has run the world. At least they did until Trump came in. See? People really believe this. How can you just dismiss them? People would be, if you interviewed either one of those two people on a show, everybody would attack you and say, how do you, even they would erase them from Twitter. So that's what I said about Jack. So Jack gets rid of everybody on Twitter. Like, if they wrote that on Twitter, I think they'd be, what do you call it? What's Facebook now? I wonder if they knock it off. They censor them. So Jack put up this thing about it. He's saying, oh, maybe did I do the right thing by getting rid of Donald Trump? It's like, don't be a pussy. Don't backpedal. Don't be a pussy. And so then he gets rid of everybody who had said anything about this, what the PJ and Tanya are saying. He gets rid of everyone. And I'm like, Jack, this is how fucked up the world is. People think that social media is real. So does Jack. Jack thinks that social media is real. Okay? That's how fucked up the world is. Just because you blocked people on Twitter, Jack, doesn't mean they went away. It's like he thinks he disappeared people. He's like, be going with you. He thinks he's like the king. No. 74 million people voted for Donald Trump. So, Donald Trump's out of office, right? Tomorrow. I love the East Coast vibe, Boston strong. Well, that's right, baby. And I embody like what the dudes embody. And I realize now, I'm very feminine, but I have the strength internally that the guys are not going to fucking push me around anymore. I'm telling you right now. I keep saying it, put the words on the street. I'm going to talk to who I want to talk to, whatever. I said to my friend Tanya today, I said, I keep having this vision of me running down the street with a coat on, and people trying to rip my coat off, and I will run right out of my fucking coat. I'll be like, take the coat, motherfuckers, because I'm going to do what Martin Luther King said to do. I can't run. If I can't run, I'm going to walk. And if I can't walk, I'm going to crawl. And I'm never going to stop fucking moving forward to get to the middle. Like, well, this is so crazy. It's like all or nothing, all or nothing, all or nothing, all or nothing, all or nothing. They make these big sweeping things where they get rid of people. I mean, I talked about this last week about the jail. They put people in jail. They just try to get rid of everybody. See, this is time. I don't know if this is going to get censored, but why can't Trump built the cages to keep the criminals in, so when they're at the inauguration tomorrow, he's got them and they have a choice to make a deal or get caught. This, I don't know. That sounds like, to the naked ear, like, oh my God, that sounds so wild, right? But maybe it's not wild. Because they underestimated Trump from the very beginning. They laughed in his face from the very beginning. He's the type of guy, I'm telling you right now, he's the type of guy that will be running down the street if you took his coat and fucking keep on running. I know that about this man because I operate the same way. He might have a darker energy than me, but I'm telling you, I have the same fucking 5D chest that he has because he just keeps going. Oh, okay, I didn't do that, and then you're going to push me out? Okay, I'll go over here. Oh, okay, you're not going to let me be president anymore? I'll go over here. Oh, you're not going to put me on the news? Okay, I'll start in my own news network. It's like, he'll never stop. It's like a cockroach. He's just never going to stop. And the more people underestimate him, the stronger he gets. Because I know from a personal level, the more CBS thought that they were too big to fail, the stronger I got. I lived in Nashville, New Hampshire from 2016 to 2018. The best comics come from the East Coast. Yes, they do. No one will push you, Sue. No one's going to push me around. I'm telling you, you could put national fucking cameras on me. I will not fucking be pushed around. Nothing. And it'll be fascinating to watch. Oh, speaking of which, okay. I was born for such a time as this. There's no doubt in my mind. Everything I went through with CBS, everything that's going on now. My mother, who even sometimes has a hard time understanding because I'm her daughter, said to me, Sue, I think this is bigger than your TV show. I think they're going to ask you to do this. And I said, what's this, Mom? She's like, I don't know, some sort of social organization, some sort of like civil rights something. She even said it to me. My mom, who has a very hard time because I'm her daughter. She only sees me as her daughter. She said to me, Sue, I think they're going to ask you to do this. Nashville, New Hampshire. No one's. You could put the camera on me and no one would push me around, and then you guys would be able to see me in live action. So that's what I was gonna say. My friend Tommy the other day. My friend Tommy's like a visionary. I'm telling you, he has said stuff to me that he didn't even have information about. He just says it, and I'm like, oh my God, Tommy was right. He sent me the video of the first Macintosh. You guys, if I had the link, I would put it up. The first Macintosh computer advertisement. It is all black. It is a man on the screen talking. It's supposedly the who was the competitors? Not Apple, but the other IBM. It was IBM, and the way I heard it described was that it was IBM, and but then if you look at the protagonist, the hero in the commercial. Now this premiered during the Super Bowl. Is a woman with blonde hair, and she's in color, and the rest is in black and white. And she takes a sledgehammer, and she throws it, and it hits the man on the screen, and the whole thing fucking blows up. And he describes the commercial as, during the commercial, the feelings of the viewers start going towards the woman, and they start rooting for the woman. And I'm like, oh. He's like, Sue, this is you. And I'm like, she has blonde hair. I'm like, oh my God. And me taking the fucking sledgehammer and throwing it right at the fucking man in the TV. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, Tommy's right. Tommy's right. And then all of a sudden, everybody started rooting for him, which brings me back to how I started this whole show, saying I didn't sue anybody yet, because if I say this all the time, if I sue somebody, then I get an attorney. I don't have the money to sue somebody, right? So I get an attorney who does it on the, they take a percentage, right? Because I don't have the money. That's how they work here. They take a third. Then they go to CBS. CBS goes, all right, we'll settle. They settle for a certain amount of money. That's a lot more money than this attorney would ever get. They don't even have to do any work. They make one phone call. They get a third of my settlement from my pain, and then I just look like the loser who sued CBS, and none of the truth comes out. None of it. None of the truth comes out. And then I have to sign an NDA, and I can't ever tell my story. Fuck you. I didn't do anything wrong. Fuck you. See my bracelet? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm never stopping. Not only am I never stopping, that journalist came to me yesterday. He's like boots on the ground journalist. He's like a big deal. And he's like, what? What's going on? And it's very hard for me to explain the complete story to him, because what happened to me is so fucking out of this world that you are going to have to see it to believe it. That I got caught in the middle of Les Moonves and them trying to take him down while I went above them, emailed him, got in the office with him. That was one thing that I never understood, why the press didn't see the relevance there. I had the ability to email Les Moonves and go into the office with him. But they think because I'm a blue-collar woman, they're cognitive dissonance. They were like, no, she didn't. It's like, I did. And I showed them the past. I showed them everything. And they're like, no, it can't be true. It can't be true that somebody like her could be that powerful that less. Yes, it was that true. I did go in there. And what happened was the people below him didn't know that I was in the office with them. So their plan got fucked up because I've taken the sledgehammer and throwing it at them all. I didn't even know I was doing it. So I have the meeting with him. Then all of a sudden, the Ronan Farrow stuff starts coming out. They're gonna do that to Les. They have a plan. They're gonna get rid of Les because Les is blocking the merger. That's what's going on. I was in the middle of the whole thing. I knew it the whole fucking time, but they kept lying to me. They kept trying to fucking retaliate against me. They gave me a deal. I out-negotiated them with my deal. They robbed me. They robbed my idea. I made them sign an NDA. People don't understand what I'm saying because nobody's ever fucking done what I've done before, and they can't believe that one little girl did this with a fucking corporation. They can't believe that I fought a battle that I had no idea that I was fighting. They cannot believe that I had the integrity to not take the money. They cannot believe that I had the integrity and the internal fortitude to not say something bad about Les Moonves and get tons of money. They cannot believe that I didn't do it. Well, fucking believe it. Believe it because it's totally true. I have all the evidence. They keep getting, the more they keep trying to hide it, the worse it's getting. The more evidence I'm collecting, the bigger the story's getting, the more I'm rising. Everybody's like, Sue, you look so pretty. Sue, you look this. I'm like, yeah, because I am the fucking truth and I am here to stay and I'm not going anywhere. And I have a million emails where I told CBS I gave them the opportunity to just do the right thing, just honor my deal. I out-negotiated them, which they never in a million years thought I was going to out-negotiate them. So the rapidness of what they were doing with the merger was going on at the same time as I was negotiating with them. So I was doing stuff that they weren't seeing. So that's why it's hard for everybody to understand. And then the Me Too thing happened. They purposely brought the Me Too thing forward so that they could hide what they were doing with the merger. And it worked. And they knew that nobody was going to listen to me because they were all going to come to me for sex stories. So they were way ahead of me. They were fucking way ahead of me thinking that they were going to fuck me. And guess what I did? I didn't let them fuck me. That's it. I just trusted my gut and I was like, no. And you know how they always say like faith, rely on faith? I literally relied on faith. I just did not go against my own best interest. Everybody kept saying, Sue, how'd you do it? I was like, I'm not going against my own best interest. I went to my union. My union fucking tried to bury it. The press tried to bury it. They all tried to bury it. I still have the fucking contract. I still have the NDA that all the suits signed. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. I don't know if they sent people to fucking try to steal it from me, because that almost happened too. That's why it's locked up in a safe right now that no one will ever fucking get. This is what I had to do, you guys. And they thought, oh, they'll think she's crazy, oh la la. Well, I'm not crazy, so now what? Now what, motherfuckers? Not only am I not crazy, I started my own TV network. I got a guy who's building the site, the SueTV.media. I'm never fucking stopping. I told them I wasn't stopping. They know that they have a legal deal that they didn't honor with me, but this is how fucking brazen they are. This is how ballsy they are. They just thought, what, that it would just disappear? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about Trump. He's not going to disappear. I know what CBS thought that was going to happen with me. So the way that they're throwing Donald Trump under the bus is the way that they scapegoated Les Moonves. And they scapegoated Louis, too. They threw them under the bus thinking that if everybody just thinks that they're the only two bad apples, then we can keep doing our shady shit. Which is what we do to people in jail, too. We just throw them away and then we're like, no, we're not bad like that. And the jury sends them away thinking, oh, if we send them away, then no one will see how bad we are. It's all bullshit. We got to get the hard numbers. We got to find out what the fuck is going on here. What's going on? Get the hard numbers. Ask the questions. Take your bra off. Find out why. Have character. Take no shit. Do no harm. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but never stop moving forward. And don't get hooked in all the bullshit. Don't stoop. People, they try to provoke you. They try to hurt you. They try to do all this stuff. Just don't let them hurt you. You're running down the street and they're grabbing for your jacket. Give them your jacket. What do they say when you're getting robbed? Give them your wallet. Give it to them. Okay, they must need it more than you do. It is the most powerful thing in the entire world. To just let go. To just let go. And just be like, all right, I'll trust. I'll have faith. I'll trust. He's supposed to be inaugurated March 3rd. Who is? Here's Chris Gregg. What do you mean, Chris? I love it. I think we should listen to people. How arrogant is that to say that we shouldn't listen to people? What do you mean he's supposed to be inaugurated March 3rd? Because that would even help bring it out too. What do you mean he's supposed to be inaugurated March 3rd? I listen to people because everybody fucking underestimated Donald Trump and he became the goddamn president. They were like, oh, that's hilarious. Ha ha. I remember Artie Lang laughing. I was like, oh, laugh all the way to the fucking 4 years of Donald Trump. And his son's on there. He has his family. You think they're not going to keep going? You're out of your fucking tits. That's what I'm here to tell you. You people are out of your fucking tits. If you think Joe Biden is all of a sudden miraculously going to save the world, you're out of your fucking tits. Cuomo's already suing him. Cuomo is already suing Joe Biden. They're all going to eat each other. I told you this from the very beginning. This is why we need a human collective bargaining agreement. We need to come together. We need to figure out what the fuck we want because they're out of their minds. They're just going to start eating each other. They're going to just start eating each other, and we need to pick up the slack. We need to do what's best for us now. We're going to have to take over. We're going to have to decide what's going on. We're probably going to have to create a whole new political movement. That's what's going to happen. A people's political movement. A real one. Not one where somebody's leading and then they exploit people and then they sell out. No way. We need to do one that's real. That's like majority rules, and we listen to everybody. And we say if somebody acts crazy, that's what I'm going to do with my YouTube page. My SueTV page is going to be where I'm going to, like people who always say, I should be famous, I didn't get a shot. We're going to have a collaborative where people get to do their auditions or whatever on my SueTV. And if the majority says that you suck, we're going to be like, listen, you suck. And it's going to relieve people. Because if in their head they have a fantasy that they're supposed to be famous and we tell them they suck, now they can move on with their life. Everything's going to be collaborative. We're going to do the majority everywhere. We're going to do the majority everywhere. Joe Biden sucks. See, now everybody on here, nobody. I thought it was March 3rd, the new Miss Sarah government. That's what Tanya's talking about. See, Chris is talking, they're talking about some new Sarah government. The Great Awakening in this movement. Let me tell you something. I am not completely going to poo-poo anything. I sat with Artie Quitter and Artie Lang, and I said that Donald Trump could be president, and he fucking laughed in my face if Donald Trump became president. So I don't have cognitive dissonance about nothing. I don't have any prejudice. I pay attention. As I move forward, I watch. I definitely bring my own experience into the situation, and I go, the whole reason why we are where we are is because people disrespected people. And if you're so educated and you're supposed to be the ones that are better than other people, why are you acting like those people? Why are you acting worse than those people? Why are you saying, good, fuck you, get out of here? Look at the border situation. The next party will be the party of the patriots. Because they're letting everybody in off the border, right? See, this is what I mean. I wish I had that Jay Thomas episode. That Jay Thomas episode that I did. I talked about how they were just gonna nominate vote for another president that's going to do the same thing because the people weren't taking responsibility. I said it probably 6 years ago. I've been saying the same thing forever. The January date was put in place originally to rush through fraudulent politicians. The real inauguration date is March 3rd. Allegedly, there are hundreds of arrests happening this week by special forces, treason, human trafficking, all sorts of nasty stuff. Okay, so he says that and people poo-poo it. But then I look on Twitter and Twitter says that they got rid of 12 National Guards out of the thing. They got rid of them all. They took them off the presidential duty. And I'm like, oh. And then somebody else said something, they're going to declassify a lot of stuff. I'm like, well, somebody who thinks that I don't know if it's QAnon or if it's what these people who are pro-Trump, that they're stupid. I'm like, well, that's what they're saying. I'm like, well, they're saying that they're going to declassify something. I'm like, so how can you say it and they're saying it, but they're stupid? I'm like, what's the truth here? You know what you're talking about. Research using the TOR web browser and begin your research. See? These people aren't fucking around. I don't know why. People are just like, what do you think you're going to... It's been growing forever. I even say that about the Civil War guys. What do you think they've been doing? They've been having drills. They know what they're doing. They fucking had it. And until the elites turn around and they respect it, you got to respect your enemy. Even if they're not considered the enemy, you have to still respect. Like, if you think they're your enemy, if the elites think that these people are their enemy, they need to respect them, but they don't. Jack is a fucking jellyfish. He fucking banned everybody. Okay, what good is that going to do? Because he's not going to the root of the problem. He is the root of the problem. He's the root of the problem. Where's the root of the problem? The root of the problem is the elite. So let's fucking get to that, and then we can come together. And guess who has a TV show about this? Who has a script? See, now they're saying they're helping each other. It's so interesting. I don't know. All I know is that I'm never stopping. I'm never going to judge one side or the other. I'm going to figure out, I'm going to get the information and find the middle. Because somewhere in the middle is the truth. It happens on the micro level and it happens on the macro level. And anybody too emotional I'm not listening to them. I'm not. Anybody too emotional, I'm like, take your bra off. Give me the hard numbers. What's going on? I've been on the deep state over 30 years. I have tattoos from 20 years ago about it. I think there's a lot of people that know the truth. And people like to call them crazy. And now all of a sudden, I said this in the very beginning of SueTV, they were writing articles about QAnon and everything. It's like in the vernacular now. I'm like, so I pay attention to the hard numbers, you guys. I don't get emotional. And I go, okay, everybody's saying this isn't happening, but now they're in the vernacular. Now all of a sudden they're getting articles written about them. I'm like, so they somehow push themselves into the vernacular. So This is happening. This is reality. I live in a place called reality. It's much better than fantasy. It's much better than La La Land, because you get taken advantage of on either side if you live in La La Land. All right? So I look for the hard numbers, and if somebody on the liberal side is saying that they're going to declassify information this week, and then somebody on the side that they say they're out of their minds is saying the same thing, I'm like, well, you're both saying the same thing, so something must be going on. Something is definitely going on. 74 million people voted for Donald Trump. You cannot disrespect that. You cannot disrespect it. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't care if they yell at me. I don't care what they say. You have to respect people's opinions. Same thing that goes on with the men. Same thing that goes on with Jared. You have to respect the men. We can't get rid of the men, just like it happened with Louis, with Les. You can't just get rid of men. I asked the girl from the New York Times, can we make a more equitable article so that we can do exactly what we need in the world? Some of the men don't even know what's going on because it's been going on for a long time. Then you attack them. So it's the same thing. What's going on politically that went on with the Me Too movement. Women just went and attacked men and were like, fuck you, we want to get rid of you. You can't do that. That's not rational. You can't get rid of men. We love men. Men have the information. We need the information. You know what would help everything? Respect. If people treated people with respect, we would get much further, because you're not going to get rid of people. The girls from the New York Times would not do an equitable article. If they did, it would just balance the energy. If they just wrote the article and said, okay, here's Louis, this is what he's got away with, this is what he's accused of, and here's a woman who has the same credits or same thing, but she doesn't get ahead. What's that? Well, let's write about that. Where's that coming from? Because that would educate everybody. Then you wouldn't be attacking people. Same thing's going on where they're attacking 75 million people that voted for Donald Trump. They're going to resist. They're going to resist because they don't want to be attacked. And attacking people is so low level. If you want to have an intellectual conversation, and disagreeing is very uncomfortable. But I only have my experience. So when I talk to another person, and this happens on a micro level and a macro level, relationships with people are uncomfortable. People bring you to it. We have miscommunications. We have certain ways of operating. We have different ways that we do things. You have to take a rest. You have to go back in. You try to listen. I say, bring back the art of listening. We need to listen so that we can all grow together. Even if somebody says something that's very offensive to me, I have to be able to tolerate it. A lot of times that when somebody says something offensive to me, I'll say to myself, why? Why are they saying that to me? And I check myself and I go, is something I'm doing making it look that way? Or my intention's not coming out the way that I want them to be presented? Because I like to be in relation with people. I want to be in relation with people. I love people. I always have loved people. I love men. I love men. I definitely know that because the change in the world is going on right now, both politically and gender-wise, that it's uncomfortable for everybody. So how do we find the love? How do we find the respect? How do we hold our ground? How do we do no shit, do no harm, take no shit? And sometimes it takes a little while for people to see each other. It's like a dance. It's like sometimes you have to break away from the slow dance and so you can see each other. When you're in a relationship together, sometimes you go away for a little while so you can miss the person. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's the same thing politically. It's the same thing if we all want to move forward as a collective, as a race that is humanity, then that's how we're going to do it. Rock Hill Tavern's still around. No, it's funny you say that because they were writing on the page the other day. Make sure you write it down. Okay, I'm going to check it out. How can they totally block our voices? Big tech is so scary. See? Joanne saying, how can they totally block our voices? Can you imagine if think about even just growing up when somebody didn't listen to you. It's like it makes you, how else are you going to communicate? That happens a lot with men, I'm telling you. I think that a lot of men weren't allowed to have their emotions. So a lot of times they do this weird behavior stuff. They're not aware of it. And then it scares us. They're bigger than, it's like this communication that we need to have, a new communication. Like Joanne just said, how can they totally block our voices? Like everybody should matter. Why doesn't everybody matter? I don't understand. And they'll be like, well, this person shouldn't matter, and that person shouldn't matter, and that. Well, everybody should matter. How about if we just say everybody matters? Then there's no question. I don't understand it. I don't. I live in a place called reality. Everybody should matter. Everybody. I was just even thinking about the death penalty. Like, who the fuck are we to say who God is? I have all these feelings. I'm telling you, I've always had these feelings about all of this. I'm like, if we even the playing field by saying that everybody should matter, okay? Then that doesn't mean equality. That doesn't mean everybody's going to get paid. That doesn't mean if you work harder, you don't make more money. That means everybody matters. And then I always say if I ran for president, this is what I would run on. Clean water, clean food, and housing. That's it. That's what I would run on. Every human being needs shelter, they need food, and they need clean water. That's it. That's how you would level the playing field. Just give human beings what they need to stay alive. That's what we need to stay alive. We need clean water, we need food, and we need housing. That's it. So how do we do that? That's how we would fix the whole society. That's how we'd fix it. Doesn't mean that it's a communal, everybody's going to live in the same places. It doesn't mean, but if you have a baseline of humanity that people need for their needs, and then above and beyond, just like they say about the health care. Why can't we have health care for people, a base health care, and then if you want to buy your own outside, then why can't you do that? Why can't you? What is going on here? People need to go to the doctors. They need to eat, they need to have water, and they need to have housing. That's it. They have a huge homeless problem in LA. I'm not talking about anything that's like this weird thing. It's like it's happening. We're in reality. They put out a study that 80% more homeless people are going to be in LA. The homeless camps in LA are out of control. And they just keep saying, well, what can we do about it? Well, we got to do something. Or what? It's going to be, I've been saying this for years. I told you about my wealthy friend. She lives off the side of a mountain. She lives like a mile down on her driveway. A guy knocked on her door. He was on drugs. It was a guy who used to work for her. I was like, oh, see, it's starting. They're not separate anymore. So it's becoming the problem of the elite now. So we need to deal with it. And no one ever wanted to hear it from me. I'm like, why don't we just do the basic? Then in terms of karma, in terms of people wanting to do good, because I understand people that make it wealthy, they don't want to take care of other people. I get it all. But what I'm saying is just be true to humanity. What do we need for humanity? We need water, we need food, we need housing, and people need to be able to go to the doctors, right? Because if somebody has what did we learn through this health crisis? If somebody gets the coronavirus, a rich person could get it. If I go out and I'm around a rich person and I have it, they could get it. So there's no hierarchy in humanity in that sense. So what's extortion? Let's see. But Nancy feeds us, Sue. I know. Remember she said that? She's like, do you feed them? It's so bizarre. I'm sick of it. I'm just going to keep talking about it. It's weird. We just need food. You don't need all fancy food, and that's why everything that I'm building with SueTV is going to be a way of life personally, and my business is going to be to show people. Because the wealthy people, yeah, you do want to help people, but you don't want to enable them. So why don't we just give everybody an equal playing field with food, water? I mean, the Flint, Michigan thing, somebody, that guy Jordan, he's a reporter, somebody took down his investigation about the Flint water crisis. Like, what the fuck is that? People need water to live. You cannot live without water. And it's like, oh my God. And then everybody's like, oh, they're trying to kill us off. I don't even think it's that calculated. I think it's greed. I think greed is blinding people. And then the selfishness, and then one person gets fucked over, and then the other person gets fucked over, and then they start doing, oh, we shouldn't have to pay rent, or we shouldn't have to do this. And then you're like, well, what about the landlords? You can't just fuck one person. And yeah, did the landlords get away with murder for a while? Yes. Well, they're not getting away with murder. I mean, we could just have simple conversations. If everybody just sat down and I was the mediator, I would be like, listen, landlords, you got away with murder for a while now. We need to adjust. Let's see how we can adjust. And then the renters, you don't, and I said this from the very beginning, don't use it. Don't not pay your rent in the very beginning. Pay them something, or do something, do service, do something. Make sure you speak. Make sure you talk. Respect. It's very simple. Respect, water, food, shelter, healthcare. If you want to be rich and make tons of money, go ahead. Go have the private doctors come to your house. Who cares? But as long as the basic needs of humanity are being filled, then it's not going to come back on the elite. We've gotten so far off the fucking crazy, and I understand this has been a very painful time. I've said it from the very beginning that we were going to go into a lot of suffering, and everybody did, and the mental health of people are depressed. But I think depression is part of life, and I think us having this year where we were a little depressed and very uncomfortable, and we didn't have so much money, to throw at things. I mean, I didn't have any money to throw at anything, and I'm creating my show. What am I going to do? I'm not going down. I'm just going to do what I got to do. Speaking of which, my Venmo is at I am Sue Costello. Helps me eat, helps me keep eating, helps me keep moving forward. I guess that's it for today. Oh God, I feel good. That was a good one today. That's really what I stand for, you guys. That is absolutely what I stand for. That human beings should be treated on a basic level with dignity and respect. If we get back to that and then go from there, nobody's going to get fucked over. I promise you. And then the people on the outside that are trying to do it, the herd, all of us will keep them, they won't be able to survive. They'll get picked off. So, every day I talk about this stuff, and I know people want to care, and then they have all their own issues, and they don't want to get fucked over. And during the pandemic, people are fucking people over because they need the money, and they're afraid and everything. Let's reset. Let's reset. Let's keep talking about dignity, respect, human dignity, human respect. Don't discount, respect your enemy. Respect them. If you're a respectful person, then you respect everybody, period. Just nobody else is making you behave anyway. We have complete autonomy over ourselves, an agency. We have, if you want freedom, freedom is your own agency over the way that you act. God bless America. Tomorrow night, Women Crush Wednesday, I'll be back with SueTV. I'm going to start doing the vlog, the blog, and And the audio, I did a couple last week. I'm going to stay on top of that. I'm going to figure out a groove to get into, so I do it every single day, so you can listen to it all different ways. I got the guy building my site. I'm just going to keep moving, you guys. Hope reigns here. Hope. All right, put your right. Oh, my Venmo at I am Sue Costello. If you want to give any, pay what you want for the show. SueCostello.com. You can put a donation there. Be great. Take your right hand, put it on the left shoulder. Take your left hand, put it on the right shoulder. Squeeze. That's a hug from me. I will see you tomorrow live at 5, and then Women Crush Wednesdays at 8 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern Standard Time. I have Stacey Pressman. She's a comedian, and she's running for the mayor of New York City, which I think only during this time would a comedian run for mayor of New York City. Come on now. Miracles are happening. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.